Warning, if you are a hardcore Sonic fan, in a good few minutes, you're probably going to start really hating me. You have been warned. So, Sonic Lost World. This was actually a game I was really looking forward to. It's the next big Sonic game after Sonic finally got his stride back during his anniversary, and it was a Wii U exclusive, which as a Nintendo fan, that just makes it better for me, so it was easily on my radar as soon as the gameplay trailers were finally shown off. Fast forward a few months, and the reviews are starting to come out for it, and a good amount of them were pretty negative, but you know what, I didn't even care. Let's be honest, you can really only take the quote-unquote professional opinion on Sonic with a grain of salt. You can never really tell those who actually played the entire game, or someone who had no idea what they were doing and made a review anyway. A certain spot consisting of games comes to mind. So regardless of all that, I went ahead and picked it up anyway, and, So let's start off with the story. Eggman is bad and took control of 6 aliens known as the Deadly Six, and Sonic was a dingus and destroyed the only tool that Eggman has in his arsenal to keep them under control. So now Sonic, Tails, Eggman, and the always amazing Orbot and Cubot work together to stop these new enemies.
I can't feel my legs!
And Knuckles gets dragged away by a few flickies. That's always good. Okay, here's the thing. I obviously don't expect anything grand when it comes to a Sonic story, but man, kinda starting with Generations' lack of any real plot, the writing for these games are going back to feeling really lazy and quite frankly downright dumb. Why? Because Sonic is the cause of all the problems here. Tails tries to tell Sonic not to attack Eggman and destroy his magic conch shell, but no! Tails tries to get Sonic not to jump on a random animal capsule because it's probably a trap, but no! Tails of course disapproves of Sonic randomly trusting Eggman, but hey, you know what, for that one, you can already tell how that turns out. Sonic is just entirely unlikable this time around, and quite frankly, he's an idiot. And honestly, the whole Deadly Six thing, they're not that special either. They purely exist just as a means to be stopped, and as characters, they are just so bland. Each world showcases their personalities, and none of them are interesting. And it doesn't really help their cause when their battles are painfully easy. Really, no effort went into this game's story whatsoever, and if there was any, it went into me not really liking Sonic. Yeah, mission accomplished. But fine, you know what, who cares about the story in a Sonic game, right? It is the gameplay that counts. Well, it's a shame that that part doesn't really fare much better. Now, instead of the boost gameplay of the, I guess we can call it the Boost trilogy now, Lost World boasts a slower-based gameplay that gives you the option to toggle between 3 different speeds whenever you want to thanks to these shoulder buttons. And of course you have alongside that a wide range of different moves to help you along the way, as well as a brand new parkour system, letting Sonic scale or run along walls with, well, somewhat ease. And honestly, unlike other negative reviews, I actually thought Sonic controlled is just fine. I don't even mind that the game is considerably slower than the previous trilogy. But all of my problems really start to stem from here. First off, the game does a really poor job letting you know of your moveset. Like for example, do you know that you can charge your homing attack by pointing your analog stick towards a strong enemy? You never could before, but hey, now you can. And the way you learn about all these different moves? You take your eyes off the TV screen when this icon pops up, tap that icon on the touchscreen, and read the info on the gamepad while the game on the TV pauses itself. Hell, at least in Generations, stupid Omochow told you stuff on the loading screens. Why have me take my eyes off the TV screen and tell me something so minuscule that ends up being very vital to killing some enemies? Just say it on the TV screen, you don't gotta take this whole 2-screen setup that much to heart. But okay, let's say you know exactly what you're doing and you know all of these little tips and tricks. The game still does a lot to fight you back. Like some walls you can jump between by not moving the analog stick at all, and some you need to hold in the opposite direction before jumping. The spin dash can also be pretty iffy at times when it comes to its speed, and geez, sometimes the homing attack randomly decides to stop halfway through a string of homing attacks. Like, look at this. Bam, bam, bam. What? Now granted, this example is pretty late into the game, but there are still many occasions where the homing attack was all like, LOL, nope. And you know what? Honestly, I ended up homing attacking this boss so hard that I knocked him clear into space, causing me to have to die and do the boss all over again. Oh, glitches. Good. Now, it's not just the gameplay mechanics that like to fight you back. The level designs can actually be pretty good, and I really do like this whole new idea of making these tube-based layouts, but holy crap, all of this is made much, much worse due to the piss-poor level gimmicks. In one word, my entire experience can be summed up with frustrating, which is hilarious to me because the first 2 worlds were actually really fun. It all starts off with this completely asinine jump in Desert Ruins 4, and it all starts to go right down the tubes from there on out. Ha, tubes. You are going to die. A lot. And very rarely are you going to think that it is your fault. Oh, and get this, here's the kicker. They also decided that 100 rings no longer gives you extra lives. Genius. Absolutely genius. You gotta love that game over screen, man. Well, you gotta, because you're gonna be seeing it a lot. Like, here are some examples. Attack the regular snowmen, but avoid the ones that have bombs on their heads. So it would be kinda nice if, oh, I don't know, you could see where the bombs are, and the thing to add to that, it's timed, so you have to rush regardless. Oh good, having to guide slow-moving fruit to grinders only to break on a pole that you have to break to get access to the grinder in the first place, constantly keeping an area lit up for you, or you, for whatever incredible reason, cannot home in on enemies despite the fact that you could, oh I don't know, see them. There's also these invisible springs all over the place, and that just doesn't make sense to me. What is the positive to that as opposed to actually seeing where a spring is? And oh boy, the absolute worst offender. In Tropical Coast, there is this genuinely incredible level that is nothing but grinding. It has a gorgeous visual set piece with absolutely beautiful music. It is really just awesome stuff. And then they decided to bring that level back later on, add in incredibly difficult to avoid one-hit kill bombs, and bam, one of the worst levels I have ever played in a Sonic game. Oh, and hey, look at that! From Sonic Colors, the Wisps are back too, with some new friends. For absolutely no reason pertaining to the story, there they are. And all of them but the laser, drill, and hover require use of the gamepad's tilting or touchscreen. You can use the touchscreen for the drill and laser, but funnily enough, they don't tell you that you can use the analog sticks for those. Huh, fancy that. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of an additional rant, but I didn't really like these either. They are the definition of tacked on. The winged wisp barely ever wants to work because no matter where you tilt the gamepad, it just decides to go downward every once in a while, and the rhythm one is completely useless. You tap on the touchscreen to continue moving, and that's about all it does. Why does it exist? And maybe this just happened to me, but I ended up initializing the rocket in a place that I guess I shouldn't have, so the only option I had was to blast into orbit, which caused me to die, and I had to go back to the checkpoint. Oh, good! And I mentioned this before, but the bosses are just pathetic, even for a Sonic game. They seriously all go down in like 2 hits. Even the final boss went as far as to be pretty much a copy and paste job from Sonic Colors. I will go ahead and give the game this, it does have a lot of variety for a Sonic game. For the most part, every level does something different, but very rarely do these gimmicks ever make sense. The most obvious one being Sonic turning into a snowball for a slow-paced rolling fest. It's just, why? It's so random and out of place, and it is the only level that does it. And then there are these flying levels that just have really awful controls, and they go on for what feels like forever. And why in the hell is there a level where you're being chased by a giant furry Pac-Man? All of this variety doesn't really mean squat when you want to strangle little woodland creatures as you go through it. In fact, the most fun I had in the game were these random breakout minigames. I like me some breakout, and at least these parts were kind of functional. Yeah, go Sonic. To add more fuel to this fire, the level themes are so bland and uninspired. Sure, the game looks nice, but everything feels like it's being practically pulled right out of New Super Mario Bros. Grass, desert, beach, snow, etc. And it's even in the same order. And not just that, but Frozen Factory is basically just a copy and paste job of Windy Hill with a coat of ice on it, and Sky Road is a copy and paste job of Windy Hill with less platforms. They didn't even try. Now they do change things up in each zone, like in Frozen Factory there is a casino level, which is always nice, and they did put a dessert level in the desert stage, which is legitimate genius, but man, overall this is just lazy. Luckily enough though, this soundtrack is quality stuff like you kind of expect for Sonic. To me, it doesn't touch the level of Sonic 2, Adventure, Colors, and Generations, but in my opinion there is still plenty of good stuff here. Desert Ruins 1 in particular is incredibly catchy. The music almost makes you want to enjoy the levels that they play in, and then you hit the game over screen again, and that all goes away. Now if you do like this game, you have plenty of stuff to do. Online leaderboards for speeding through stages, 5 hidden red rings in each stage which unlock Supersonic. Now I haven't unlocked him myself yet actually, but let's be honest, you kinda already know that's the reward. And then there are these really simple challenges that for some reason you can only hold 3 at a time, and completing them rewards you with items that you can either send off on Miiverse or use yourself. And you may be asking yourself, how do you use them? Well, you just take your eyes off the TV screen, you tap an icon on the gamepad, and Oh, but hey, if you get the Deadly 6 edition, you get a bonus level based around Knights. It's nothing more than a hack job of a boss rush with a Knights reskin with Knights music, but hey, the level did accomplish one thing. I finally got to dust off Knights Journey of Dreams for the Wii and pop that in for the first time in years.
Go over and touch Knights. You'll see what I mean.
Whoa, excuse me? Guys, I'm sorry, I really am. I didn't want to have a review that was nothing more than a rant, and I tried really, really hard to like this game, but I just couldn't do it. If you enjoyed it, which I know there are those who did, then go ahead and enjoy it. I'm not the type of guy to enforce my opinion on others. I'm just the type of guy to make stupid videos letting you know what they are. A lackluster story that made me dislike Sonic, consistently iffy gameplay mechanics, decent level design with awful gimmicks attached to them, and really uninspired level themes, something that Sonic rarely ever falls victim to. I'm not just gonna say this is a bad game, but an incompetently made game. I find it really hard to believe that after how good and solid Colors and Generations were, the developers thought this game was just perfect to ship out. And the best part about all this? I hear the 3DS version is worse. Ugh. So if you're the type of person who doesn't really take reviews for Sonic that seriously, then I guess go ahead and pick the game up. I know you kinda want to anyway. But if it was up to me, I would say take the money and pick up Wonderful 101 instead. I mean, if you're willing to deal with frustration, you might as well kick some ass while you're doing it. Oh, and Roger Craig Smith is in both games, so now they're practically the same thing. But anyways guys, that is it for my review and I hope you enjoyed it. Strong emphasis on the word hope. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I will catch you all next time.
Yes, that's it. I've been dreaming about pounding his sorry blue butt.
Excuse me, I need an adult.